Blue and red lights flash in the night as officers pull over a sleek black car. A routine traffic stop, or so they think. The woman in the driver's seat is calm, her hands resting on the wheel as the officers approach. They ask for her license, their tone firm but professional. She hands it over without a word. But the moment they read her name, everything changes. Silence lingers. One officer glances at his partner, then back at the ID in his hand. Confusion flickers across his face, followed by something else, shock. The woman watches them, waiting. "Is there a problem, officers?" She finally asks. They hesitate. Because the name on that license belongs to someone they never expected to meet like this. The new chief of police. And now, the very officers who stopped her have to face the reality of who she is, and what happens next. The officers exchange uneasy glances, their hands suddenly stiff at their sides. One of them clears his throat, trying to mask his nerves. "Ma'am, can you step out of the vehicle?" he asks, his voice tight. The woman tilts her head slightly, studying them, then nods. She pushes open the door and steps onto the pavement, the glow of the streetlights casting sharp shadows around them. As she stands there, her presence commands attention. There's something in her posture, calm, confident, unreadable. The officers can feel it now. She's someone important. But why didn't they know? Why weren't they warned? One officer glances at her license again, her name now burning in his mind. Chief Daniels, the woman who, as of this morning, became their boss. She folds her arms, watching them with quiet patience. So she says finally, her voice steady. "What exactly seems to be the problem?" The officers hesitate. The usual confidence they carry on the job feels misplaced now. One of them, Officer Reynolds, ships uncomfortably, gripping his belt. "Routine stop, ma'am," he says quickly, though his voice lacks the authority it had moments ago. The other officer, Carter, stays quiet, his jaw tight. The weight of the moment is pressing down on both of them. Chief Daniels raises an eyebrow. "Routine." She repeats, her tone even. She glances at the patrol car, then at the officers. "You ran my plates, so you know who I am." Reynolds swallows hard. He did run the plates, standard procedure. But for some reason, dispatch hadn't flagged anything unusual. No alerts, no high-ranking designation. Just a name. A name he didn't recognize until now. Daniels watches them, reading their hesitation. "So tell me," she continues, her voice steady but firm. "Why was I pulled over?" Silence. Neither officer has a good answer. Reynolds opens his mouth, then closes it. His mind is scrambling for a response, but nothing feels right. Carter shifts beside him, the muscles in his jaw tightening. The air between them is thick with unspoken words. Chief Daniels stands still, her presence alone demanding an answer. She exhales slowly, then looks past them at the patrol car's dash cam, its red light blinking. It's recording. Everything. Her calm gaze flicks back to Reynolds. "I'll ask again," she says, her voice sharper now. "Why was I pulled over?" Reynolds' pulse pounds in his ears. He knows the answer, but saying it out loud feels dangerous. It was instinct. A car that looked too nice, too out of place at this hour. And the driver? Well, he doesn't want to admit what led him here. Carter finally speaks, his voice low. "Chief, we..." But before he can finish, the radio crackles. A voice from dispatch. "Unit 12, status." The officers hesitate. Chief Daniels doesn't. She reaches up, presses the button on Reynolds' shoulder radio, and answers for them. "We're having a conversation," she says coolly. "I think it's about time." A heavy silence follows Chief Daniels' words. Reynolds' throat is dry, his heartbeat hammering. Carter looks like he wants to say something, but his lips stay pressed together. The radio crackles again, dispatch waiting for an answer, but no one moves. Then headlights sweep across the street, cutting through the tension. Another patrol car slows to a stop behind them. The doors swing open, and two more officers step out. One of them, Sergeant Miller, frowns as he approaches. "Everything all right here?" His eyes land on Daniels, then shift to Reynolds and Carter, reading the unease in their faces. Before they can answer, Daniels speaks. "Sergeant Miller," she says, her voice smooth but firm. "You were at my swearing-in this morning, weren't you?" Miller freezes, recognition dawning on his face. His posture stiffens. "Chief." He glances at the two officers, piecing it together. His expression darkens. What exactly is going on here? But just as the bride opens her mouth to speak, the doors to the hall burst open, and another figure walks in, someone even more unexpected than the rest. The suspense is thick. What now? What other secrets are hidden, waiting to destroy everything? The new figure in the doorway is the bride's long-lost mother, thought to be gone forever. The room goes quiet once more as the mother's tear-filled eyes meet her daughter's. The shock is too much to process, but in that moment, everything falls into place. The truth they had all been hiding comes rushing to the surface. "I couldn't tell you," the mother whispers, stepping forward, her voice shaking. "I never wanted to hurt you, but I knew the man you were about to marry. He wasn't the right choice." With a deep breath, the bride turns toward the ex and the homeless woman. All of their struggles, their pain, their secrets, it all made sense now. She had been part of a story that was bigger than herself, a story of betrayal, redemption, and love lost and found. As the mother and daughter embrace, the truth finally settles in. Sometimes the hardest battles are fought for the ones we love, and in the end, it's the truth that always sets us free. The room grows even quieter, the tension so thick it feels suffocating. All eyes are on her now, waiting for the truth to come out. But what is the truth? What mistake could she be talking about? The room is hanging on every word now. The homeless woman's declaration lingers in the air, a heavy, unsolved mystery. But before anyone can react, there's a sudden shift in the atmosphere, an unexpected interruption. A man steps forward from the back of the room, his face familiar but somehow out of place. The groom's best friend, someone no one noticed until now, clears his throat and speaks up. "Actually, she's right," he says, his voice cutting through the tension like a knife. The room falls silent again, all eyes turning toward him. The best friend looks straight at the bride, his expression a mix of guilt and desperation. "There's something you don't know about him." He points toward the ex, whose face remains unreadable. The guests exchange confused glances, their curiosity now piquing. The bride's face hardens, her heart racing. What could he possibly be about to say? The best friend takes a deep breath, clearly reluctant but unable to keep quiet any longer. The reason he's here today is because he's not just her ex. He continues, glancing nervously at the ex. "He's your real father." The words land like a bombshell. A stunned silence fills the room, the bride's breath catching in her throat. The realization hits her like a tidal wave, shaking her to her core. Her mouth opens, but no sound comes out. The woman standing beside the ex, the homeless woman, looks directly at the bride, her gaze unflinching. "I told you," she whispers softly. "I'm the only one who can stop it." The room is in chaos. The bride stumbles back, her hand gripping the nearest chair for support. Her mind is reeling. Her father. How could that be possible? Everything she knew about her family, her life, suddenly feels like a lie. She looks at the ex, his face unreadable, and then at the woman standing beside him, who looks at her with a mixture of pity and sorrow. "You've been living in a lie all these years," the best friend says quietly, his voice